Friends, imagine a ship so massive, so luxurious that the world called it unsinkable. Yet in less than 3 hours, this miracle of engineering was swallowed by the icy Atlantic. But was it really fate or a chain of human mistakes? Stay with me, because this story has secrets you may have never heard before. Setting sail, it's April 10th, 1912. Southampton, England. The RMS Titanic, the largest and grandest ship ever built, begins its maiden voyage to New York. On board, wealthy industrialists, famous actors, hopeful immigrants, all united by one dream: America. Commanding this giant is 62-year-old Captain Edward Smith, a respected sailor. Newspapers, the public, even the company behind Titanic, White Star Line boast one thing: this ship cannot sink. Why? Because at 269 meters long, with interiors that made five-star hotels look ordinary and costing the modern equivalent of $400 million, the Titanic was more than a ship. It was a statement. A heated swimming pool, Turkish baths, a squash court, libraries, barber shops, luxury beyond imagination. And safety. 16 watertight compartments, a double hull. White Star Line's vice president even bragged publicly, "This ship is unsinkable." But just 2 days later, Titanic received its first ice warnings. And that's where the story takes a deadly turn. Warnings ignored April 12. Titanic sails across the icy Atlantic. Radio messages keep coming. Icebergs ahead. The crew changes course twice, but speed not reduced. The Titanic thunders ahead at 21.5 knots, 40 km/h. By April 14, 7 warnings had been received. Captain Smith did not slow down. Why? Some say pressure from the company to break speed records to impress the world. That night, the sky was pitch black. No moonlight, freezing winds. From the crow's nest lookout, Frederick Fleet struggled to see through the darkness. His eyes watered from the icy air. Then, at 11:39 p.m., his heart froze. An enormous shadow emerged. "Iceberg, right ahead." He rang the bell 3 times and the officers scrambled. But 1 minute later, impact the collision. The iceberg towered like a mountain, nearly the size of a football field, weighing 1.5 million tons. The Titanic's side scraped against it for 10 seconds. Metal groaned. 6 watertight compartments filled with water. The limit was 4. The unsinkable ship was doomed. Captain Smith and architect Thomas Andrews examined the damage. Both realized the horror. Titanic would sink. Desperate calls at midnight. Distress calls went out. Radio operator Jack Phillips heroically sent SOS after SOS after SOS. Finally, at 12:20 a.m., the RMS Carpathia replied. They would come, but they were 107 km away, at least 3.5 hours. Could Titanic last that long? Meanwhile, flares lit the sky. Passengers laughed at first. Unsinkable, remember? The first lifeboats went half empty. A 65-seater carried only 28 people, but by 1:00 a.m., water gushed into the bow. The ship tilted forward. Chaos exploded. Panic replaced disbelief. The tragedy unfolds. By 2:05 a.m., the last lifeboat left. Over 1,500 souls remained trapped. Some prayed. Some fought for survival. Some, like Captain Smith, went down with the ship. At 2:20 a.m., the Titanic broke in two. Within minutes, the Atlantic swallowed it whole. Water temperature, 2 degrees C. Survivors lasted only minutes before hypothermia claimed them. When Carpathia arrived at dawn, it found 705 survivors and countless frozen bodies. The mystery of the Californian, but here's the chilling part. Another ship, the SS Californian, was just 37 km away. Its crew even saw Titanic's flares, yet Captain Stanley Lord dismissed them as a party, fireworks. By the time they turned on their radio in the morning, it was too late. Had the Californian acted, hundreds more could have lived. Aftermath and legacy investigations revealed shocking failures. Too few lifeboats, only enough for half the passengers. No safety drills, a helmsman's steering mistake, and above all, speed over safety. In truth, the Titanic wasn't sunk by an iceberg alone. It was sunk by human arrogance. But this tragedy changed history. By 1914, new international laws demanded enough lifeboats for all, mandatory drills, and an ice patrol to warn ships of danger. Decades later, in 1985, explorers found Titanic's remains, 3.8 km below the surface, in 2 broken halves. Today, bacteria eat away at its steel. Experts say by 2030, the wreck may vanish forever. Yet the Titanic lives on in stories, films, and our imagination. a symbol of both human ambition and human error. So friends, the Titanic wasn't just a ship. It was a lesson written in ice and blood. No matter how advanced we think we are, nature always has the final word. Now tell me, do you think the Titanic sank only because of the iceberg or because of the arrogance of the people who built and commanded